1,000 that I've forgotten.
Oh, thou didst then never love so heartily. If thou rememberest not the slightest folly that love ever did make thee run into, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not sat as I do now, wearying thy ear in thy mistress's praise, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not broke from company, abruptly, as my passion now makes me, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe!
Alas, poor shepherd, searching of thy wound, I have, by hard adventure, found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love, I broke my sword upon a stone and bid him take that for coming tonight to Jane's smile. And I remember the kissing of her battler, and the cow stugs that her pretty chopped hands had milked. We that are true lovers run into strange capers, but as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature and love mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art whereof.
Nay, I shall ne'er beware my own wit, till I break my chins against it.
Jove, Jove, the shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And mine, but it grows something stale with me.
I pray you, will one of you question yon man if he for gold will give us any food? I faint almost to death.
Hello, you clown!
Beast fool, is not thy kinsman?
Who calls? You're better, sir. Else they are very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even to you, friend.
And good even to you, gentle sir.
I prithee, if love or gold can in this forest buy entertainment, bring us to where we may rest ourselves and feed. There's a young maid will travel much oppressed and faints for succor.
Fair sir, I pity her and wish for her sake more than for mine own my fortunes were better suited to relieve her. But I'm a shepherd to another man. I do not shear the fleeces that I graze. And my master's of churlish disposition and little recks to find the way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his cot, his flocks, and his bounds of feed are now on sale, and at our sheep cot now, by reason of his absence, there's nothing you shall feast yourselves on. But what is, come see, and in my voice most welcomely be.
I pray thee, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage, the pasture, and the flock, and thou shalt have to pay for it of us.
And we will mend thy wages. I like this place, and willingly could waste my time in it.
Oh, surely the thing is to be sold. Go with me a little, and if upon report you like the soil, the profits, and this kind of life, your very faithful feeder will I be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, 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 hither. Here shall ye see no enemy, but winter and rough weather.
More, I prithee more.
It will make you melancholy, Monsieur Jacques.
I thank it. More, I prithee more. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More, I prithee more.
My voice is ragged. I know I cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I do desire you to sing. Come, more. Another stanzo. Call you stanzos?
What you will, Monsieur Jacques.
I care not for their names. They owe me nothing. Come, will you sing?
More at your request than to please myself.
Well, then, if ever I thank any man, I will thank you. Come, sing. And you who will not, hold your tongues.
I'll end the song, sir. Cover the while. The Duke will drink under this tree. He hath been all this day to look you.
And I have been all this day to avoid him. He is too disputable for my company. I think of as many matters as he, but I give heaven thanks and make no boast of them. Come, warble, come.
Who doth ambition shun, and loves to lie in the sun, seeking the food he eats, and pleased with what he
gets. Come hither, 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 hither. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather.
I'll give you a verse to this note that I made yesterday in despite of my invention.
And I'll sing it.
Thus it goes.
If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, Duke dame, 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 here shall we see gross fools as he, and if he will come to me. What's that Duke demand?
'Tis a Greek invocation, meant to call fools to a circle. I'll go to sleep if I can. If I cannot, I shall rail against all the firstborn of Egypt.
I'll go see the Duke. His banquet is prepared.
Dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Lie I down and measure out my grave. Oh, farewell, kind master.
Why, how now, Adam? No greater heart in thee? Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If this uncouth forest yield anything savage, I will either be food for it, or bring it for food to thee. Thy conceit is nearer death than thy powers. For my sake be comfortable, hold death awhile at the arm's end. I'll here be with thee presently. And, if I bring thee not something to eat, I will give thee leave to die. But, if thou diest before I come, thou art a mocker of my labor. Thou lookest cheerly, and I'll be with thee quickly. Yet thou liest in the bleak air. Come, I will bear thee to some shelter. And thou shalt not die for a lack of dinner, if anything live in this forest. Cheerly, good Adam.
I think he be transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find him like a man.
My lord, he is even now but gone hence.
Go seek him out. Tell him I would speak with him.
My lord, he saves my labor by his own approach.
Why, how now, monsieur? What a life is this, that your poor friends must woo your company? What? You look merrily.
A fool, a fool. I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool, a miserable world. As I do live by food, I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun, and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms, in good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he. Call me not fool till heaven hath sent me fortune. Then he pulled a dial from his poke, and looking on it with lackluster eye, says very wisely, it is 10 o'clock. Thus we may see, quoth he, how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour ago that it was 9, and after 1 hour more, 'twill be 11. And so, from hour to hour we ripe and ripe, and then from hour to hour we rot, and thereby hangs a tale. When I did hear that motley fool thus morrow on the time, my lungs began to crow like chanticleer, that fools should be so deep contemplative, and I did laugh, song's intermission, an hour by his dial. Oh, worthy fool! Oh, noble fool!
What fool is this?
A worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and who says, if ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it. And in his brain, which is as dry as the remainder biscuit after a voyage, he has in strange places crammed observations, the which he vents in mangled forms. Oh, that I were a fool! I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
Will be my only suit, provided that you weed your better judgment of all opinion that grows rank in them, that I am wise. I must have liberty with all, as large a charter as the wind, to blow on whom I please. For so fools have. Invest me in my motley, give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if they will patiently receive my medicine.
Fie on thee, for I can tell what thou wouldst do.
What for a counter would I do but good?
Most mischievous foul sin in chiding sin, for thou thyself hast been a libertine, as sensual as the brutish thing itself. And all the embossed sores and headed evils that thou with license of free foot have caught, would thou disgorge into the general world.
Why, what is he a basis function that says his value is not of my cost? Thinking I mean him, he therein suits his folly to the metal of my speech. There then, how then, what then? Let me see wherein my tongue hath wronged him. If it do him right, then he hath wronged himself. If he be free, why then my taxing as the wild goose flies, unclaimed of any man.
Forbear, and eat no more.
Well, I bet none yet.
Nor shall not to necessity be served.
Art thou thus boldened, man, by thy distress? Or else a rude despiser of good manners, that in civility thou seemst so empty?
You touched my vein at first. The thorny point of bare distress hath taken from me the show of smooth civility. Yet am I inland bred, and know some nurture. But forbear, I say. He dies that touches any of this fruit till I and my affairs are answered.
And he will not be answered with reason. I must die.
What would you have? Your gentleness shall force more than your force move us to gentleness.
I almost die for food, and let me have it.
Then sit down, and feed, and welcome to our table.
Speak you so gently? Pardon me, I pray you. I thought all things had been savage here, and therefore put I on the countenance of stern commandment. But whatever you are, if ever sat at any good man's feast, if ever from your eyelid wiped a tear, and know what 'tis to pity and be pitied, let gentleness my strong enforcement be, in the which hope I blush, and hide my soul.
True it is that we have seen better days, and with holy bell been knolled to church, and sat at good men's feasts, and wiped our eyes of drops that sacred pity hath engendered. Therefore, sit you down, gentleness, and take upon command what help we have that to your wanting may be ministered.
Then but forbear your food a little while. There is an old poor man who after me hath many a weary step limped in pure love, till he first be sufficed, oppressed with two weak evils, age and hunger. I will not touch a bit.
Go find him out. We will nothing waste till you return.
I thank ye, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest, we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play in.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with satchel and shining morning face creeping like snail unwillingly to school. Then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. Then the justice, in fair round belly with good cape and lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, a youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange and eventful history, is Second's childishness and mere oblivion. Son's teeth, Son's eyes, Son's taste, Son's everything.
Welcome. Set down thy venerable burden. Let him feed.
I thank you most for him.
So had you. I scarce can thank you for myself.
Oh, welcome, and fall too. I will not trouble you as yet to question you about your fortunes. Give us some music, and good cousin, sing.
Blow, blow, thou winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth be not so keen, because thou art not seen, although thy breath be rude. Hey ho, sing hey ho, unto the green holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Hey ho, sing hey ho, this life is most jolly.
That you were the good Sir Rowland's son, and as mine eye doth his effigies witness, most truly lined and living in your face, be thou truly welcome hither. I'm the Duke that loved your father, the residue of your fortune. Go to my cave and tell me. Good old man, thou art right welcome as thy master is, but support him by the arm. Now give me your hand, and let me all your fortunes understand.
Breeze, thou bitter sky, that dost not bite so nigh, as benefits forgot, though thou the waters warp, thy sting is not so sharp, as friend remembered not. Hey ho, the body, this life is most jolly.
Hang there my verse, in witness of my love, and thou thrice-crowned Queen of Night, survey with thy chaste eye, from thy pale sphere above, thy huntress's name, that my full life doth sway. O Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and in their barks, my thoughts all character. That every eye which in this forest looks shall see thy virtue witnessed everywhere. Run, run, Orlando, carve on every tree the fair, the chaste, and unexpressive she, Rosalind.
I've not seen him since! Sir, it cannot be! Were I not made the better part of mercy, I should not seek an absent argument. Of my revenge, thou present! Look to it. Find out thy brother, wheresoe'er he be. Seek him with candor. Bring him dead or living. But thy land, and all that thou dost call thine worth seizure, do we seize into our hands, till thou can quit thyself by thy brother's tongue of what we think against thee.
That your highness knew my heart in this. I never loved my brother in my life.
More villain thou! Well, push him out of doors. Do this suddenly and turn him going.
How like it is shepherd's life, Master Touchstone?
Truly, shepherd, in respect of itself, it is a good life, but in respect of the shepherd's life, it is not. As it is solitary, I like it very well, but as it is private, it is a very vile life. As it is in the field, it pleases me well, but as it is not at court, it is tedious. As it is a spare life, look you, it fits my humour well, but as there is no more plenty in it, goes much against my stomach. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
No more, but that I know, that the more one sickens, the worse at ease he is, and that he that wants money, means, and content is without 3 good friends, that the property of rain is to wet and fire to burn, that good pasture makes fat sheep, and that a great cause of the night is the lack of the sun.
Such a one is a natural philosopher. Wast ever at court, shepherd?
No, truly.
Then thou art damned.
For not being at court, your reason.
Why, if thou never wast at court, thou never sawest good manners. If thou never sawest good manners, then thy manners must be wicked, and wickedness is sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a perilous state, shepherd.
Not a whit, Touchstone. Those that are good manners at the court are as ridiculous in the country as the behaviors of the country are most mockable in the court. You say you salute not, but kiss your hands. This practice would be most uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds.
Instance. Briefly, come, instance.
We're still handling our ewes, and their fells, are greasy.
And do not your courtiers' hands sweat? And is not the grease of mutton as wholesome as the sweat of a man? Shallow, a better instance, I say. Come.
Besides, our hands are hard.
Your lips shall feel them sooner. A more sounder instance. Come.
And our hands are tarred over with the surgery of our sheep. Would you have us kiss tar? The courtiers' hands are perfumed with civet.
Most shallow man! Thou worm's meat in respect of a good piece of flesh indeed. Learn of the wise and perpend. Civet is of a baser birth than tar. The uncleanly flux of a cat. Mend thy instance.
You've too courtly a wit for me. I'll rest.
Wilt thou rest, damned? God help thee, shallow man! God make incision in thee! Thou art raw!
Fair sir, I'm a true laborer. I earn that I eat, get that I wear, owe no man hate, envy no man's happiness, glad of other man's good, content with my harm, and the greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck.
Ugh. That is another simple sin in you. To bring the ewes and the rams together, profiting at your living by the copulation of cattle, to betray a she-lamb of a 12-month to a crooked-pated old cuckoldly ram out of all reasonable match. If thou beest not damned for this, the devil himself shall have no shepherds. I cannot see how else thou should escape.
Look, here comes Master Ganymede, my new mistress's brother.
From the east to western end, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind, through all the world bears Rosalind. All the pictures fairest lined, oh but black too. Rosalind? Let no fair be kept in mind, but the fair of Rosalind.
I'll rhyme you so 8 years together, dinners and suppers and sleeping hours accepted.
A fool!
For a taste, if a heart do lack eye, let him seek out Rosalind. If the cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosalind. Winter's garments must be lined, slow must slender Rosalind. Sweetest nut, hath sourest rind, such a nut is Rosalind. He that sweetest rose will find, must find love's prick and Rosalind. This is the very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Oh, peace, you dull fooling! Found them on a tree.
Truly, the tree yields bad fruit.
Peace! Here comes my sister reading. Stand aside.
Why should this a forest be, where some people know tongues I'll hang on every tree that shall Sybil's sayings show? Nature, presently distilled, Helen's cheek but not her heart, Cleopatra's majesty, Atalanta's better part, sad Lucretia's modesty. Thus Rosalind of many parts, by heavenly synod was devised of many faces, eyes, and hearts, to have the touches dearest prize. Heaven would that she these gifts should have, and I to live and die her slave?
Oh, most gentle pulpiter! What tedious homily of love you've wearied your parishioners withal, and never cry to have patience, good people!
How now, back, friends? Shepherd, go off a little. Go with him, Sirrah.
Come, shepherd, let us make an honorable retreat.
Didst thou hear these verses?
Oh yes, I heard them all. More too.
But didst thou hear without wondering how these verses should be hanged and carved upon these trees?
I was 7 out of the 9 days of wonder before you came for. Here, look what I found in a palm tree.
Trow you who hath done this?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck.
I prithee who?
Is it possible?
Nay, I prithee, with the most petitionary vehemence, tell me who it is.
Oh, most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again wonderful. And after that, out of all who be.
Good my complexion. Dost thou think, though I am comparison like a man, I have double and hose in my disposition? I prithee, tell me who it is quickly, speak apace. I would thou couldst stammer, thou could force this man out of thy mouth as wine comes out of a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I pray thee, take the cork out of thy mouth so I may drink thy tidings.
So you may put a man in your belly?
Is he of God-making? What manner man? Is his head worth a hat or his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but a little beard.
Why, God will send more if the man will be thankful. Let me stay the growth of his beard if thou delay me not the knowledge of his chin.
It is young Orlando who tripped up the wrestler's heels. And your heart both in an instant?
Hey, if the devil take mocking. Speak, true maid.
In faith, cuz 'tis he.
Orlando?
Orlando?
Alas the day! What shall I do with my double-edged hose? What did he when thou sawest him? What said he? How looked he? Wherein went he? What remains of me? Did he ask for me? When shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word.
You must bar me gargantua's mouth first. 'Tis a word too great for any mouth of this age's size.
But doth he know I am in this forest and in man's apparel? Looks he as freshly as the day he wrestled?
It is as easy as to count atomies as to resolve the propositions of a lover. But take a taste of my finding him and relish it in good observance. I found him under a tree like a dropped acorn.
It may very well be called Jove's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Give me audience, good madam.
Proceed.
There lay he, stretched along like a wounded knight.